श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः, श्री परमगुरुभ्यो नमः, श्री आदिगुरुभ्यो नमः, श्री मूलगुरुभ्यो नमः, श्रीमदानंदतीर्थ भगवत्पादाचार्यभ्यो नमः, श्री वेदव्यासाय नमः, श्री भारते नमः, श्री सरस्वते नमः, श्री वायवे नमः, श्री ब्रह्मणे नमः, श्री महालक्ष्मे नमः, श्री नारायणाय नमः, श्री हरे नमः, मोक्षप्रद श्री वासुदेवाय नमः, कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो ग्रन्थमुदीरयेत्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो ग्रन्थमुदीरयेत्। नारायणं सुरगुरुं जगदेकनाथं भक्तप्रियं सकललोकनमस्कृतं च त्रैगुण्यवर्जितम् अजं विभुवादिमेशं वन्दे भवग्नममरासुरसिद्धवन्द्यम्। अविकाराय शुद्धाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे नमो हिरण्यगर्भाय हरये शंकराय च वासुदेवाय ताराय सर्गस्थित्यन्तकारिणे एकानेकस्वरूपाय स्थूलसूक्ष्मात्मने नमः। अव्यक्तव्यक्तरूपाय विष्णवे मुक्तिहेतवे सर्गस्थितिविनाशानां जगतोऽस्य जगन्मयहं मूलभूतो नमस्तस्मै विष्णवे परमात्मने। So any queries from the sessions so far?
No, brother.
No, brother.
Anyone else? Any queries or are there no doubts? So on YouTube we have received a few queries. We shall answer that. So there is a query: do Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnavism also consider the Veda, Pancharatra, Mahabharata and Ramayana and adhere to the preachings of Madhva as discussed in the earlier session? If so, how do they establish that Krishna as a supreme god? One of their argument is Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam from Bhagavata Purana, and Krishna is Purnavatara, or is it misinterpreted? So firstly, it is a misnomer to say that they are Madhva Gaudiyas, because the sampradayas of Gaudiyas and Madhvas are totally different. Now it is disputed, but there is a possibility that Gaudiyas may share the same Guru Parampara, but that doesn't mean that they are one and the same sampradaya as us, because philosophically they have differences. There are many major differences between Madhvas and Gaudiyas. So moving on, the fact is that for the Gaudiyas also it's pretty similar, because most of the Vaishnavas consider these Shastras to be the prime authority, and all the Astika Darshanas for that matter consider the Veda to be the topmost authority, and along with that the Itihasas and Puranas are also having equal authority. But nonetheless, again, Pancharatra is unique to Vaishnavas or the Pancharatrikas who follow Pancharatra. So for us, we consider the Pancharatra also to be an authoritative Shastra, because we follow that. And also the Dharma Shastras are also again common to all the Sampradayas. And coming to Krishna being the supreme god, that is not any philosophical difference which we have among Madhvas and Gaudiyas, because the fact is that Krishna is Vishnu himself, so he is Bhagwan only. That's why the statement Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam is correct. Though that specifically doesn't refer to Bhagwan's avatara as Krishna there in that context, but we'll explain that some other time. So again, as we said earlier, Krishna is Vishnu himself, and all the rupas and avataras of Bhagwan are non-different from him. They are he himself. So there is no question of when one rupa of Bhagwan is praised as Paramatma, it means that is he himself. Does Andantamas get destroyed during Mahapralaya? No. it does not get destroyed at all. That is why Andantamas is a permanent destiny. Same with moksha. Even in Vaikuntha, there is no influence of time. As said in the Bhagavata Purana second skanda, Nakala Vartate. So there is no influence of time at all in Vaikuntha, and same is the case in Andantamas also. The influence of time in the Brahmanda is not applicable to either Andantamas or Paramapadam. So I hope this clarifies the queries which have been asked so far. Any more queries from anyone? From both the direct participants and those watching on YouTube? If a Kshatriya boy marries a Vaishya girl, is it Varna Sankara? It kind of is, but again, it's not really Varna Sankara here. Varna Sankara is when the man belongs to a lower Varna and the woman belongs to a slightly higher Varna. They are usually referred to as the Varna Sankaras. So here the child will be considered as a Vaishya only. But since this is quite irrelevant here, we cannot discuss this elaborately here, as we'll end up deviating from the main topic. So in today's session, we shall discuss about the Purusharthas, something which has not been discussed elaborately previously. So in the Shastras, one can commonly see that there are 4 Purusharthas mentioned, which means the goals of a person or purposes which we are supposed to have. So the 4 are Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. So among these, which one, first, for those who don't know, Dharma means righteousness, and in the Mahabharata there is an actual clear-cut definition of Dharma given. So in the Mahabharata, somewhere in the Karna Parva, if I'm not wrong, there is one shloka which goes as Dharanat Dharma Ityahuhu Dharmaha Dharayate Prajaha. So dharma is that what sustains the society. So that refers to the righteousness and how one's conduct should be. So that is what governs society, praja. It holds the society in position, which is why it's called dharma, derived from the word dharana. So artha means economics, or basically one's the way in which one should earn money, wealth, income, and all that to maintain oneself. Then kama refers to desire, or desiring what one should do and what one should achieve. Moksha is the end stage, which is obtained through aparoksha jnana, that is exiting samsara completely and being freed from the cycle of repeated birth and death. So a question to everyone here: which one among these is the most important? Dharma, Artha, Kama or Moksha? So those who have already known the exact answer to this question, Those who know the exact answer to this question from which is given in the Mahabharata, please don't answer. Let others answer.
Is it dharma?
Okay, one answer is dharma. So, what do others say? So, can anyone give a justification why you believe that one of these is more important than the others? So, for those answering dharma, please explain why you consider dharma to be the topmost. Or for those who have any other answer also, please go ahead and explain. Okay, so
I mean, that is what sustains and upholds life, the universe, and the truth itself. That's why.
okay. So another answer is because when it is tied to kama and artha, then it goes to moksha. Any other answers? Others also, please let us know your answers. Which one do you think among the four purusharthas is the most important and why? So in the Mahabharata's Shanti Parva, in the 200th chapter, there is an answer given to this where there is a discussion among Bhishma, Vidura, Arjuna, Bhima, and the others. So, okay, another answer is moksha. So, can you justify why moksha is having greater value than dharma, artha, and kama? Because we get to serve Vishnu in our Swarupa. That is done even before moksha. Moksha is a byproduct. We serve Bhagwan through bhakti. That is what makes us eligible to be to obtain moksha and become mukta jivas.
Then is it kama? I mean, kama means desire to serve Vishnu.
Correct. That is the answer. So Vidura argues in the Mahabharata that dharma is the most important because only through dharma one can actually live peacefully and prosper. Then Arjuna argues that it is artha. Now, actually, their arguments can be seen to hold a lot of basis. But since they were not having completely perfect knowledge, they did not. They overlooked these facts, which when Bhishma asked, Bhima finally gave the correct answer. When actually it was not Bhishma who asked, because Bhishma was speaking with by the help of Sri Krishna himself. All the knowledge which Bhishma gives in the Shanti Parva of the Mahabharata and till the Anushasana Parva of the Mahabharata is actually spoken by Vishnu himself. Because in the beginning, when Bhishma says that he is in a condition where he is on the bed of arrows and he is unable to speak properly, or even he is not even in a position to move or speak, he is assured by Krishna that Krishna will enable him to give the proper knowledge to the Pandavas. So it was actually Krishna's avesha in Bhishma which enabled him to give all this knowledge. So moving on, Arjuna argued that it was artha which was most important, because his argument was, and one can actually see the relevance of this today. The fact which he said is that if at all one is not in an economically well off position, or one does not have basic resources, there is no question of them being able to practice dharma. They can resort to any means to earn their livelihood and their basic necessities. And we can see in the case of many people being converted from Hinduism to other religions, especially through this strategy, if one observes. So in today's times, that is what is being misused by the missionaries and so many people. They give these basic necessities which are of utmost importance to these people. And because nowadays there has been a reduction in the number of Hindus doing it till the last few decades, this was actually misused by them to convert people to other religions. And here it wasn't done out of actual interest in that religion, but merely to simply get more number of followers, and to simply have them as to give them that identity that they belong to so and so religion. So this was not real spiritualism, nor anything beneficial to them. But here we can see that Arjuna's argument was kind of true. But finally, Bhima says the right answer, that is Kama. Kama refers to desire. Without desiring to be on the path of Dharma, one cannot be a dharmic person. Similarly, without desiring to indulge in economics and to make one's livelihood or to have wealth, one cannot do that. Without Kama, one cannot achieve anything. One cannot even achieve moksha also, obviously, because without the desire to serve Bhagavan, it won't be possible to achieve moksha. So ultimately, the most important purushartha is Kama. So as said previously, even by Guruji in one of the sessions, that even the desire to perform certain actions has a lot of value. Though it is not as good as performing that action, but the desire to perform either a punya karma or a papa karma or to practice bhakti always has value. So practicing bhakti is somewhat comparatively easier, because for that we do not have to perform complex rituals. It is done with the mind focused on Bhagavan. So that is one thing which is important for everyone. But nonetheless, the desire to do that is what determines how any action goes. So the Buddhists have always propagated that desire is the root of suffering, because from desire we develop expectations and we get disappointments in the process. But actually, the Mahabharata has debunked this, and Bhima himself refutes this. Desire is the most important thing for achieving any goal that one wants, because without that it is not possible to actually work towards their goals, or to even to live peacefully, or desire to live in the first place. So similarly, here one should know that desire holds a lot of value and one's intentions matter. So the fact is that unless we have the desire to do such actions, we cannot actually achieve that. So for achieving all the arthas, we need to have the desire to do that. And again, we should have only good desires, not negative ones. So this is also one reason why people of different swabhavas attain different destinies, because their desire, the desire which they have itself is different. And some people want to benefit others, some people want to harm others. They always have that desire which naturally comes from their heart. That is what determines one's swabhava. So there is a question, is bhakti without jnana possible? For example, just believe in Bhagwan and pray to him. That is not proper bhakti actually. Because if you don't know who Bhagwan is and don't have any knowledge of spirituality, it is impossible to actually properly perform upasana of Bhagwan. So that is why the very definition of bhakti, as we mentioned earlier and as quoted in our publications also, in the Narada Pancharatra as quoted by Sri Madhvacharya and Sri Vallabhacharya, the definition of bhakti is Mahatmya Jnana Purvastu Sudridaha Sneho Bhakti Riti Prokta Taya Muktir Nacha Anyata. So the firm attachment, the firm love for Bhagwan, which comes through proper knowledge of his greatness. Mahatmya Jnana Purvastu Sudridaha Sneho Bhakti Riti Prokta. So that is said to be bhakti. Taya Muktir Nacha Anyata. So only through that one can actually achieve mukti. And as we discussed already, bhakti has 3 stages as explained by Sri Jayatirtha. So one is just the normal bhakti, which comes with limited knowledge of Bhagwan. Then the next stage is Pakva Bhakti, and then Paripakva Bhakti. So that has been explained previously in the previous session. So Pakva Bhakti is when is the stage of bhakti where one has not achieved aparoksha jnana yet, but is in the process of improving their knowledge and has is in a position to be able to perform proper sadhana, which leads them towards aparoksha jnana. And paripakva bhakti is the last stage where one has achieved aparoksha jnana and their sadhana is absolutely flawless. So that is slightly difficult to achieve at once and that requires effort. So any queries so far? Why did Karna, even after having Aparoksha Jnana, oppose Krishna and his dear devotees? See, the fact is that Karna was actually an Avesha of an Asura and Surya Deva. So, Surya was the Aparoksha Jnani and he committed the least Papa Karmas. Most of it was committed by the Asura who was in Karna's body. Now, the second thing is that Surya also had done slightly excess punya than what he deserved as per his capacity. So, uh, because of that, he ended up performing certain papa karmas also, though mild and not the major papa karmas which Karna committed. So, that was done just so that his karmas could be equalized. Same is the case with most of the other devatas who have sometimes shown such defective qualities because that is usually done to curb the excess amount of punya karma which they commit. So during Rama's avatara, Karna was none other than Sugriva himself, because Sugriva was the avatar of Surya as said in the Ramayana. So, and Vali was the avatar of Indra. So, because of that, as Sugriva, since he had committed excess punya than what he deserved, as Karna, he had the avesha of an asura, and he also in between showed certain defective qualities. So, yes, it was somewhat similar to the case of Hiranyakashipu and Jayavijaya only, and Kamsa, Putana, and all the other asuras who apparently attained moksha, but actually that was not the case. So, does anyone have any more queries? Guruji is with us now. He will explain the rest.
No, I want you to summarize, please.
Yes, Guruji. So as we discussed already, among the Purusharthas, that is dharma, which means righteousness, or what makes a society stand in place, and the second one is artha, which is economics, kama, which is desire, and moksha, which is exiting the cycle of samsara and obtaining freedom from all the miseries and the tapas of samsara. So among them, kama holds the greatest position, as said already, because there are actually other reasons why one may apparently think that artha or dharma has greater value than the rest. But again, as explained by Bhima in the section of the Mahabharata which we mentioned, it is finally kama which actually is the root of all other purusharthas, and which determines how one progresses towards achieving them.
Yeah. अभ्रमं भङ्गरहितमजडं विमलं सदा आनन्दतीर्थमतुलं भजे तापत्रयापहम्. What can we say about that kama further? We hear a lot of verses from the Bhagavad Gita discouraging for us from engaging with kama, krodha. They are all spoken on the same. They're all kind of the same category, like kama, krodha, lobha. So why is it clubbed with all those faults? What then is the difference between that kama and the kama which is defined as a purushartha? Does anyone want to try?
I mean, one kama means a desire to serve Vishnu, and other kama is taken in a bad sense.
Okay. What is bad about it?
Like they think desire of, lust, desire, and all.
So what is bad about desire?
Can we say that the karma which is independent of the other three purusharthas is bad, and which is in line with the other three is good?
But apparently here Bhima is saying that all the other purusharthas actually are dependent on kama. Did you understand that argument that Prajna mentioned, why kama is the highest purushartha? Okay. Would you want it explained once more so that it will help you to understand?
Yes, Guruji.
Somebody said that maybe he would need an explanation once more.
No, I meant Guruji, I meant that if they want, I can re-explain Bhima's argument slightly elaborately.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So what Bhima meant is that without the desire, that is kama, to be on the path of dharma, one cannot actually practice dharma. So unless one has that desire to be on the right path and to do actions which are right, and similarly to even obtain wealth also, artha, there is again, without having the desire to do that, one cannot actually put efforts to make wealth and to be in a financially stable position. And similarly, to achieve moksha also, that comes as a byproduct of bhakti and aparoksha jnana. So again, one needs to have the desire to do that and the desire to serve Bhagwan. So without that, it's not going to be possible. That is why Bhima says that actually kama determines whether the other three purusharthas can be achieved or not, and that is why it is the root of all of them. Does that make it clear?
Who was the one who spoke last? Who was it?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, so you would want to change your statement now? Like, I'll repeat what you said. You said that maybe kama, if it is like the other purusharthas, then it is good, otherwise it's bad. Would you want to restate that? Like understanding that kama is a basis for all the other purusharthas? No, just feel free. I want you to participate. That participation will only help you refine your understanding. Please feel free everybody to participate. Nobody is evaluated here or judged. Participation is a practice that will help you. These are topics which you have never been educated in these lines by any possible system of education. Not have our parents taken the responsibility to do so. So we are being mostly unaware of this whole, isn't it? So myself.
Guruji, your voice is breaking slightly. Rishit and everyone else, it will be better if you speak by unmuting yourselves, because Guruji cannot view the messages since he did not join through Google Meet.
Because I'm in a place where the network is pretty unstable, so I'll not be able to join by Google Meet. I've joined through regular phone call. So what I was saying is, this whole platform is to give an opportunity to the modern youth who are mostly unaware, or they're deprived of any kind of a responsible communication of this realm of wisdom from our roots, from our native roots. So that is the idea, and that the purpose is clear, and we wish to achieve it by active participation of all of you all. When you participate, you will understand, and you can form. It's like we will help you form an opinion. It's not even finally some kind of a descriptive or a prescriptive approach. No. From all the discussions and participation that goes on here, you can draw your own conclusions and decide for yourself what is the most prudent understanding of it.
Could we reframe it as calm, which is in line with the orders, instructions of Lord Vishnu, is good, and which is against the instructions of Shastras or instructions of God is bad. Like in Gita also Krishna says this, that I am the karma which is not against dharma.
Yeah, so if you will align that karma in a way that it is in line with Vishnu, how would you be doing that?
By following the Shastras, I think, because the Shastras are the instructions of Vishnu.
Okay. To do that, like what is prohibiting us from doing it now?
Sometimes it could be time, place, or circumstances.
That's all? Time, place, and circumstance? Is there anybody in the universe who is there anybody in the universe who always remains aligned with Vishnu no matter what?
Swami ji, are they the Rujuganas?
Prajna, he said something I was not able to hear. Can you?
He said the Rujuganas, the Ruju Jivas.
Yes. So not only Ruju Ganas, but many others. Yeah. So what about them? What about time, place, and circumstance?
Can we also say that love for Vishnu is necessary because we only follow the instructions when you have love for him or when you fear him?
What is it, Prajna?
He meant we can follow those instructions only when we have love for Vishnu.
Yeah, exactly, correct. But what I am asking is, what about now? Like this moment now? I mean, there is this real moment that we are existing now. What is prohibiting or where is that love? Why is it there? Not there? If not there, why? From where is it supposed to come?
Our personal desires are the ones which are interfering in it. That I want to enjoy this, I want to enjoy that, so we forget God and then.
So where is love? Where should it come?
Should it come from inherent capacity, like inherent swabhava of good?
Sorry, what did you say?
Inherent capacity from the Swabhava.
Oh, inherent capacity. Yeah. So inherent capacity to love. So love is then that's right. So love is something inherent, right? Inherent means it is there inside. It is not procured or acquired from outside. Correct?
Yes, Swamiji.
So if that is so, what is stopping it now?
Maybe some personal desires for enjoyment as it.
Yeah, so there is something stopping it, right? So then
Yes.
it would be, so to experience the real karma, which is of course in it's pleasing Vishnu and it's in line with Vishnu. So the karma is already there in us, and to get to be able to have a pure expression of that karma, so we should purify ourselves of all the other the bad karma and wrong affiliations. Because now they are affiliated with the body. Otherwise, desire, there is nothing wrong about desire. Desire is wonderful, and God takes pleasure in fulfilling desires. Isn't it? Isn't God the one who fulfills desires?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, Guruji.
So why would God have a problem fulfilling our desire? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, Swami, I'm thinking of the answer.
Desire.
I mean the
Yeah, please go on.
I mean the wrong desire is not good, like desire of killing someone or harming someone.
Why? Even that might be right if it is in the interest of the spirit soul. Krishna asked Arjuna to kill somebody, not one person, millions.
But if the person is innocent whom the person is killing, then it is not according to the dharma, right?
Yeah. So it's all. It needs to be clarified in that way. It needs to be rephrased that way. So better is to say that desires that have come in affiliation with the body, that with the wrong identity. When you are in the wrong identity, you are thinking of yourself as something that you are not. Those desires, they will lead you astray, because they will solidify an identity that you are not. Whereas if you are desiring, being purely situated as what you are, those desires are pure. Like Garuda might get a desire to eat a snake. That snake might be innocent, but there's nothing wrong about that desire, because that is there in the grand plan of the universe, that Garuda eats snakes, right? That's its natural food.
So
Yes,
Swami,
Guruji.
can we define good karma and bad karma as something which is according to our Swarupa is good and which is against our Swarupa is bad?
Yeah, and even if it is to do with the body, every body has a certain constitution in the grand universal plan, right? Every body constitutes the universe in a certain way. The snakes, they have their own constitution. Birds, they have their own constitution. The lions, the tigers, they have their own constitution. So when a tiger desires to devour a deer, even a completely innocent one, that desire will not be bad. It's not wrong. A shark in the ocean might desire to eat up some seal, maybe water seal. Water seal might be quite innocent. But if that desire of the shark is in accordance with its design by nature, that desire is not bad, right? Is it wrong for a tiger to desire to eat an innocent deer? Or should we conclude that deers are not innocent after all?
The tiger is correct.
Sorry?
The tiger is correct because it is going according to its constitution.
Precisely, yeah, correct. Everyone else agrees with that?
Yes, Guruji.
So, you see, there's a greater platform, there's a greater basis to determine what is forbidden, what is wrong and right. I'm just trying to churn in such a way that you will come closer to the complexity of the issue. Yeah, are you feeling that I'm making it complicated?
No, Swami.
Okay, but I'm trying to introduce you to the complexity of the matter. Anything to do with our attitudes, with our dispositions, they always have to deal with the complexity of nature. Just the thing is, if that complexity is not addressed maturely, if that complexity is not addressed properly, then things become complicated. There will be a simple way based on our constitution. Constitution means I'm not speaking about the constitution of India. I'm speaking about the constitution of our body, the way we are designed. The constitution of our body and mind. Based on that, there is a mature way of dealing with the complexity of nature. And that is what our civilizational intelligence is. Bharata is great because it has figured out how to deal with the complexity of nature as human beings. That is what distinguishes us from any other accomplishment of the world. They might have gotten a machine. They might have gotten you a machine that maybe flies you from Bangalore to Delhi within a few hours. But that's no great accomplishment. That might be a mistake also. If we analyze it, we may be able to find out. But it remains to be understood that a civilization which has learned or which has evolved a way of dealing with the complexity of nature in a mature way, that is the greatest civilization. That is the greatest wisdom, to be able to deal with the complexity of nature. Never think that nature is too simple. It's always very complex. Nature is complex. It is too complex for technology to dissect it. It is too complex. Technology is too blunt in front of nature. It takes a deeper exploration than what technology can afford you. So understanding the Purusharthas are basically when we are touching the realm of desires, and Purusharthas means what we need. So this needs, necessities, desires, it's a very, we are actually, we can't go about we can't go about fulfilling these things without addressing the complexity of life and nature properly. And that is what civilizational wisdom and intelligence is all about. It is almost like an invisible wall. Like you don't see the wall and you hit it. It's like that. People think, what is there? We'll go about what we feel like we will do. We have to stop. We have the liberty. Okay, you try. People have tried and they failed. It is like Duryodhana entering the Maya Sabha. It would seem that there is no wall, and you would just head forward, but then you will have your head hit. Someplace you will see that there is a door, but where there is none. So the realm where we have to navigate, we have to negotiate in life is actually like that, like the Maya Sabha.
Swami, since we are saying that something which is in accordance with the Swabhava of the Jiva is correct, the desire is correct. So would the desire of Hiranyakashipu to kill Vishnu be correct since it is according to his Asuric Swabhava?
Did you hear that, Prajna?
Yes, Guruji. What he meant is that since those desires which are in accordance with Swabhava are correct, so can we say Hiranyakashipu's desire of killing Vishnu was correct?
Well, Hiranyakashipu is not one jiva, right? It's constituted. There is Jaya inside, Vijaya. The Vishnu Duta is there inside, the Dwarapalaka. And also there is a demon by name Hiranyakashipu. For the demon, those desires are natural for him, but the very point of liberating Jaya Vijaya from their bodies as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu was that they were under the pressure, they were under the influence of those demons. You see? So the whole
Guruji, I think his query was that specifically about Hiranyakashipu's Atma, whether because of his Asuric Swabhava, he intended such things. So I think he meant to ask, is that justified for Hiranyakashipu specifically?
yeah, but Hiranyakashipu means two people. There is a demon inside and there is a god inside. Inside Hiranyakashipu. For the demon, it is in accordance with his nature to think like that. So he would be given a body also which will facilitate his hatred. So is it dharma? Is it right? That is what he will do. That is what he will end up doing. He will end up hating Vishnu, of course. But we are not here trying to correct the demons. The whole Shastra, all of the Shastras are not there to... See, one thing is, in the realm that we are existing, we cannot find out the ultimate truth about anybody. Is that person a demon or not a demon? So we assumed at this point of time that we are not those who are fundamentally opposed to Vishnu. And opposed to Vishnu means opposed to happiness, opposed to reality. That we are not those. Why would you want to be to assume yourself as those? But we are aware of that nature, and we are aware of the expressions of that nature. So, being aware of that, we stir away. We stir in such a way that we avoid those kinds of expressions, and gradually we will be awakening our own proclivities. Is it right or wrong? That's what he will do. Now, again, the words right and wrong that we use are also, we need to revisit them. That's what he will do, of course. But is that okay? No, it's not okay. It's not okay for us. It's okay for him. There's an arrangement for him to do that eternally. There will be also in the future.
Understood, Swami.
Within the realm of creation, all these demoniac forces, those who are, we cannot say at any given point of time who is completely demoniac and who is not. But God can say. He knows even before anything that that person is a demon. But then just the rule he follows in creation is that he lets that expression, he lets that demoniac nature express itself by way of actions. And then by rule of a reaction to a certain action, in the sense that reward or whatever that action has solicited, that is given to him in response to whatever he has done as an action. God waits for just because of the fact that he knows that that person is a demon, he does not inflict any kind of a punishment to him or any kind of a he gives a chance to the expression of that innate hatred. Everything is an example. When Dhanvantari brought the pot of Amrita, immediately Dhanvantari, as soon as he brought the pot of Amrita, the demon snatched it away from his hands. Now, is it to say that Dhanvantari is not strong enough to hold a pot of Amrita in such a way that it cannot be snatched? Can anybody snatch from God's hands unless he desires to give it up like that? No, you can't. But why did he allow them to do that? Because that allows him, as per his own rule, to give them the punishment of that kind of an act. Because at that time the Devas were also equally deserving the Amrita, because the effort from both sides was equal. The Devas just stood and waited for Dhanvantari to do justice. But the demons couldn't wait. They didn't even trust Dhanvantari. They said, who knows what will he do with it? So let us snatch the pot and take everything ourselves. So that was a wrong thing to do. But God waited until they did that wrong thing to snatch it from his hand, with the intention of having it all just for themselves. After that, he again takes it back from them after he comes in the form of Mohini. I mean, this is one example, but every time, even in our own life also, if we see with this deeper vision, we will find that God always punishes after he gives expression to our wrong ideas, to calm our attitudes that we have. Okay.
I have a question, Guruji, if I may speak.
Please.
Yes, Guruji, since we are speaking about dharma and what is right and wrong, um, we understand that every person has dharma and certain responsibilities towards nature, towards family, and towards country, and that we have to protect our country and all that. But sometimes we see that there are conflicts between two dharmas, like the dharma towards your family and towards your country or something like that. So we see the instance in Ramayana where Vibhishana, he left his brother, his king, and his people, and he supported Rama. It's like he almost he actually went towards his enemy's side and fought against his own country, which can be seen in a general sense as a grave offense or a grave crime, or can be considered as a adharmic. But the reward he got was that he was later celebrated as a devotee of Lord Ram. And on the other hand, we see that in case of Bhishma, he upholded all his words and his loyalty to the throne, and he performed all his dharma as per the scriptures, or as it has to be performed. But then he died in the battlefield, and we so in these two cases
death in the battlefield is not bad. But it's okay. I got general line of reasoning you are trying to say.
Yeah, because Prabhuji, we say that dharma rakshati, right? That dharma protects you.
No, but dying in the battlefield is also Rakshana, actually, glorious death.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The battlefield is a very beautiful one. It's a very beautiful death.
Your voice is breaking, Swamiji.
Oh, okay. What I'm saying is, death in the battlefield is a very beautiful one. It's not something to lament. Am I audible, Rajna?
Yes, Guruji.
Can you repeat to him what I said?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay. Yeah, but go ahead. You were saying something. Bhishma was loyal to the throne as such. And even Pandavas are attacking Hastinapura, which is their own native That's the Peetham of all the Kuru kings. And they being descendants of Kuru, it almost looks like some kind of a siege from outside. Pandavas taking the help of some outside people. They are laying siege to the capital of the Kuru Samrajya. It looks like a siege. Siege is the word. You understand what's a siege? Coup.
Yeah,
Like
trying to conquer.
It's like a coup. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can call it a coup, a siege. So it's like it's not something. It's something very bad. It appears like that. If you are loyal to your own throne, to your own native place, then you wouldn't attack it from outside, taking help from Panchala, Matsya, all these kings. You are taking help from outside kings and laying siege on Hastinapura. That's like treason, right? It's high treason. You know what's treason, right? Treason.
Yes,
Treason.
But I think they had their rights to the throne, right? Because they were the next heir for the
but
throne.
that's an internal matter that should be resolved from inside. So it doesn't mean that if your elders did not accede to your did not endorse your claim to the throne, maybe they gave you that endorsement. Okay, you had your claim to the throne, but for some reason you have been dethroned. So does that mean that you take help from some outside army and then attack your own place? Most decent people would have just left like that. Okay, I don't want to fight with my elders. If they have decided that the throne not be given to me, fine. I'll just walk away. Isn't that what most decent people do?
Yeah, they would choose non-violence.
But Yudhishthira, on the other hand, they laid siege. It was a glorious coup. It looks like it satisfied every criteria of treason. Why do you think Bhishma and all these people, although they knew that Pandavas are so good, why do you think that they stood by Hastinapura, Ashwatthama, Drona? Because Hastinapura was the main place. It's like the capital of the Kuru Jangala, Kuru Samrajya. So when there is a war, there is an attack from outside, then it's considered treason to leave your kingdom, your king. So Pandavas, what they did, they took help from Panchala, this Matsya, this Magadha and all these kings and attacked their own capital. It looks like I said, a treason. So you pointed out for Vibhishana. What I'm trying to say is what Pandavas did also looks something like that. So we'll come back to the question that when two conflicting dharmas are there, what do we do, right? That's your question.
Yes, yeah.
When there are two conflicting dharmas, you have to choose the greater dharma.
And how do we know which is greater?
Like Vibhishana, he showed that more than allegiance to his brother, there's a greater sense of dharma. Okay, your brother did that, so whatever your brother does, you will just go by it. That is one. Okay, you need to support your elder brother. Okay. But then there's a greater dharma that you don't go around now stealing other people's wives. So if your brother has violated dharma, then you do everything in your capacity as a brother to make him understand that what you've done is wrong. But if he doesn't listen, and especially if that other person's wife happens to be God's wife that he has stolen, who is the mother of everybody, he should be seeing her as mother. Then, of course, you have to change sides. Your connection with God is greater than your connection with anybody else. That is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. When Arjuna is saying that I don't want to hurt Bhishma and Drona, they are very worshipable to me. I have to respect them, not cut them with a weapon. So Krishna is telling, from when do you know Bhishma and Drona? I have known them from the beginning. And I will know where they are going from here. I am in charge of them from before you have ever known who they are. You know them for the whole life experience in which you know them is but a small window of reality. They have been existent from much before, and they will exist in the future for eternity. And I am in charge of them, and I know where to take them. You just do your duty in this war. Killing them is something that you do in your relationship with me. Your relationship with me demands that you kill them. But your relationship with them, if you give priority to that, and if you leave that, and if you leave this dharma that you have to kill them, then you have violated a greater dharma that is determined by your connection with me. Krishna is saying. Is it understandable what I'm saying?
Yes, Guruji.
So the greater dharma is coming from his connection with God. So dharma is not to be given up. Okay. I think I'll conclude here.
There's one more question on YouTube, Guruji.
Sorry, Pragya.
There's one more question on YouTube. So,
Yes, sir, please. What is it?
someone has asked, does doing Nama Japa and Bhagavad Puja, is it considered as Punya?
It is punya. Why is there a question about that? Who is telling that it is Papa?
The person has an anonymous username.
No. But my question is, why does that question come? Is it punya or not? Why would anyone, is there anyone saying that it is not punya?
I think the doubt may have come because it said that Punya karmas typically are those Punya or Papa are those which have certain karma palas. I think that's
Okay.
why the person may have got that doubt.
No, even seeing karma phala, so if you take the name of God and if you do Nama Japa, the karma phala, I mean, in the sense that for doing karma phala means, let's not classify that as some kind of a, karma, fruit of karma. But even if you do it as a fruit of karma, where is it Nama Japa known to have some bad result? See, the potential of Nama Japa is very great. You can connect to God directly with Nama Japa. Even if you can't do that, if you do Nama Japa in whatever capacity and focus that you have, it will yield some result, and that result is definitely going to be good. Is that fine?
Yes, Guruji. That person hasn't replied.
Okay.
Vamshi has a query. If sex done only for sexual enjoyment but not for producing children, is it sin? Means even after producing children, if one does it only for enjoyment, is it a sin?
It's a complex topic. Recreational sex, I mean, it is there. Definitely, there is something called recreational sex. But the purpose of sex is to produce progeny. Once you have crossed the age where you produce progeny, of course, see, it's not that somebody has sex once. How is he sure that one sexual intercourse will produce progeny. They should have sex multiple times, right? And there will be recreation also in that. It's not that in one shot if it happens, it's great, but usually there has to be multiple interactions. So, and usually the number of progeny that you produce is not just 1 or 2. You generally produce at like 10, 12 children. So in the course of producing 10, 12 children, there's a lot of sex, man. So after producing 10, 12 children, I don't think if you still are hungry for sex, then I think it shows immaturity. It shows like underdevelopment of your mental evolution. It shows that it is stagnant. So recreation and procreation, they both go hand in hand. That's why there is some kind of a recreation and happiness that comes with sex. That's actually to encourage procreation. So both go hand in hand. After you produce 10, 12 children, then still, I think by that time a person would have crossed that requirement for sex. Okay, but if you have your wife and if that wife is still cooperating, and if there is chemistry between you people, and once in a while if she requires that kind of or if you require that kind of an interaction, you just take care that it is not Amavasya or Purnima and all those days which are prohibited for sex. And why not? You can definitely have sex. Okay, so we'll log out, Prajna.
Okay, Guruji.
I hope that was understood what I said. Is there was that okay? Is there any objection
Swamiji,
to
I
what
had
I
a
said?
question.
Vamshi heard it? Is there connected?
He's here only.
What say he? What does he say? It's fine.
He hasn't said anything yet.
Okay.
He has put a message actually in the chat.
He has put a message, means if one uses contraceptives to prevent pregnancy, but doing sex only for enjoyment, is it a sin?
That is definitely a sin. Contraceptives is definitely a sin. Shri Krishna Pramas. Achyutananda Govinda. Achyutananda Govinda. Achyutananda Govinda. Narayana. Sure. Thank you all for participating. And please consider what was discussed today. I'm sure it's not a closure. It's not like it's not closed and concluded. All these topics are so unique that when they are discussed, they are just kind of it's actually an opening of the sun, and you need to reflect and deliberate on those issues. This platform gives an opportunity to delve into such subject matters that you can take up, and deliberation and contemplation on these reasons for and against a certain viewpoint. I think that will go on for a long time until you reach your own, until you discover your own internal stance on that issue. There can be a collective, commonly understood, commonly accepted conclusion to a certain level, but beyond that also there would be some internal query which still lingers and continues until you actually have a direct perception of the reality yourself. That's the nature of reality. Kriyante vidyate hृदय ग्रंथि चिद्यन्ते संशयाः क्षीयन्ते आस्य कर्माणि दृष्टा एव आत्मनीश्वरे. So it seems like learning is a lifelong process, and it goes beyond just one life. So we should be open to that. we should come out of this mindset of the modern world that you just finished learning something in some given frame of time. It doesn't happen like that. Learning is a very slow process. You learn very little in every lifetime, actually. Hare Rama, Narayana, Narayana.
Hare Rama, Guruji. Dhanyawad.
Hare Rama, Guruji.
Hare Ram. Thank you.